The member for Bennelong.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Look, I haven't been in this place for too long. It's only my second term. But in my short time here, I've learnt two things pretty quickly. One, it's not to take history lessons from the Coalition and the Liberals and the Nationals. I mean, we just heard a claim there that the instant asset write-off was a coalition policy created by the Coalition, when it was in fact the Rudd-Gillard government that started the instant asset write-off. A Labor government that supported small business cash flow, and I'll talk to that as part of Schedule 7. But the second thing I've learnt in being in this place for a short time, Deputy Speaker, is certainly not to take any advice on energy policy from those opposite. Like, just quickly then, I tried to Google how many failed energy policies they've had since 2013. I think it's like over 20 failed energy policies. They took another one to the last election, Deputy Speaker, and it was nuked by the Australian public, and they want to bring that back as another energy policy. They'll probably change it a little bit again. We'll start racking up triple digits perhaps on how many energy policies they want to bring here. So when the member for Fairfax comes here and says how fantastic the Coalition were at energy policy, you need to laugh, because history suggests the total opposite. The total opposite. What we have done, though, is we are modernising the energy market. We are transitioning to the cheapest form of new energy, and we will make the decisions, like we are in this Treasury Laws Amendment bill, strengthening financial systems and other measures, like we are extending measures that were due to expire. Schedule 6. I was going to talk about Schedule 7 first, but given the member for Fairfax contribution, I might start on Schedule 6. The energy market protections were due to expire, and what this bill does is the right thing. It does a bit of maintenance on some of these expiring protections, and it will extend this consumer safeguard of the Prohibiting Energy Market Misconduct Act until 2031. An independent review found that these protections were effective in constraining market misconduct and protecting household and businesses, and by extending them, we are ensuring that affordability and fairness remain at the centre of the energy transition. That is what good governments do. They look at policies and they review them, and if they're worthy of extension, we'll extend them. But to take advice from those opposite on energy policy is absolutely laughable. As you've heard, Deputy Speaker, there are 7 schedules in this bill, and overall what this bill does is it seeks to strengthen confidence in our markets, it improves the ways that regulators operate and supports long-term economic growth. It obviously, like most TLABs, again, this is not unique, most TLABs, they cover a wide range of areas, from corporate disclosure and charity oversight to financial regulators, energy market protections and taxation. But at the heart, this is a bill about investment, transparency and accountability, the foundations of a stronger productivity and public trust, particularly in our economy. So starting with Schedule 7, or continuing on with Schedule 7, Deputy Speaker, this bill will implement the government's election commitment to extend the $20,000 instant asset write-off until the 30th of June 2026 for small businesses, a really important measure for small businesses. I used to run a small business, grew up in one, the family business, and spent a good 15 years running it, growing it, making sure it paid for my bills and the family bills, but also employed 10 to 15 workers during its peaks and troughs. And having a more simplified tax system, encouraging investment in assets of up to $20,000 was a really important measure that was introduced by the Rudd-Gillard government way back in the mid-2000s, in the early 2000s, Deputy Speaker, not created by the Liberals and Nationals as claimed by the member for Fairfax, but a Labor policy that we implemented and have continued, supported when we were in opposition, continued in government. It's really an important thing to extend because it improves cash flows and reduce compliance costs for small businesses. And when you go out and talk to small businesses in the high streets in our electorates, and I've got some incredible small businesses right across Bennelong, in Eastwood, West Ryde, Gladesville, Lane Cove, mum and dad small businesses, usually, and a lot of people who have just come to Australia for the first time. Migrant communities have a higher representation in small business ownership, Deputy Speaker. You just take a walk through Eastwood and see them all vibrant and making our high streets places to go, places to be. They often talk about reducing red tape and making things easier for them. Compliance, they understand, is important, but how can we make that simpler? The $20,000 instant asset write-off is absolutely one of those things that makes everyday running of a small business easier. It means that a cafe can upgrade their coffee machine, or they can buy new hardware for their point-of-sale software. It means that companies can invest in those higher items up to $20,000 without having to carry over the depreciation over the schedule. It reduces their costs with their accountant, which we all know can be high sometimes, and they can write it off for 12 months to buy new and, importantly, buy second-hand assets. It was first introduced by Labor because we know that cash flow measures like this really support small businesses. It means they'll be able to immediately deduct eligible assets costing less than $20,000, rather, as I said, than tracking those assets over time. Importantly, up to 4.1 million small businesses across the country can access this instant asset write-off. And I would hope, we heard just then that the member for Fairfax said they're going to reserve their right. The last time an instant asset write-off TLAB came to Parliament, the Coalition blocked and delayed it for at least 12 months, creating a whole heap of uncertainty for investment from the small business sector. Now, those over the other side, Deputy Speaker, claim to be all about small business, understanding the economics of running a small business, fighting for small businesses, yet they sowed doubt into the small business community about whether or not they were going to support an extension of last financial year's instant asset write-off, only passing it at the 11th hour. Let's hope that the processes that go through, as outlined by the member for Fairfax, that they can get through to the Senate, that they can have a look at this bill, which they're entitled to do, obviously, send it off to a committee, but that they don't sit on it and delay it and team up with others to delay this TLAB for an unnecessary amount of time, because all that does is it will slow down investment from small businesses and create doubt in their mind, because there are 1.281 million small businesses in New South Wales that can benefit from this measure and will benefit from this measure sooner, with confidence, the quicker this TLAB bill gets through the House and gets through the Senate. This is one measure of how this re-elected Labor government is really ensuring that we are supporting small businesses. And it's growing, I think, Deputy Speaker. I know many members of the class of 2025 mention small businesses in their first speeches. They either come from a small business background, have worked in them, have family that worked in them. This is the modern Labor Party, one that has roots in our industrial base, but also have real connection to small and medium businesses right across the country. We understand what small businesses go through, and we're here in this place representing them as much as we are workers across our economy, because in our last parliamentary term that manifested itself into more than $2 billion in targeted supports. And I'll just focus on the targeted ones for now, because obviously there are the economy-wide reforms that we put through as well. But we've got a $900 million National Productivity Fund working with the states and territories to unlock productivity and cut red tape, particularly for small businesses. We've invested $33.4 million to improve payment times for small businesses, including $25.3 million in the 2024-25 budget to support the overhauled payment times reporting scheme and to enhance the regulator's ability to deliver payment outcomes for small businesses. Again, another cash flow measure, just like the instant asset write-off. Being paid on time saves small businesses headaches in chasing up delinquent debtors, but it also means that they can get money in their bank account to reinvest. We've provided over $60 million to help small business uplift their digital and cyber security capabilities, a huge and growing cost and concern for small businesses, particularly those that don't have the technical know-how of how to roll out a firewall in their local IT systems, how to deal with training of their staff. Don't click on this link, don't open that email. Having the Cyber Wardens program and the Digital Solutions program is a way in which we understand that problem and that we're trying to help small businesses overcome these high-risk situations. Of course, our tax cuts, famously opposed by the Liberals and Nationals. Tax cuts for every taxpayer benefits 1.5 million sole traders. All those tradies, sole traders, hairdressers who operate as sole traders, coffee shops, small businesses, 1.5 million of them across the country, benefit when we change the income tax rates. And we know that at the last election, the Liberals and Nationals went to the election not only with a policy of opposing our tax cuts, but actually repealing them to try and increase taxes. Not Menzies' party they are, those across over there, Deputy Speaker, and perhaps that's the reason why someone like me was re-elected in a seat like Bennelong. We're here supporting small businesses, supporting workers, supporting sole traders. We've, of course, delivered additional energy bill relief with another $150 in rebates until the end of the year. This builds on specific and targeted small business electricity rebates we rolled out in the last term. Our cheaper home batteries, and you heard the responsible minister say that over 78,000 home batteries have been installed through that. We've made sure that small businesses are eligible to accept that. Up to 50 kilowatt-hours of battery storage capacity, they'll be eligible for those. I'd love to see some stats on how many small businesses are taking up that battery subsidy rebate, because we acknowledge that small businesses also want to decarbonise, also want to reduce emissions, also want to access battery technology to help reduce their bills. We've supported the hospitality sector by pausing indexation and drought beer excise, and we've extended unfair trading practices protections to small businesses by strengthening the enforcement of the Franchising Code of Conduct. Deputy Speaker, Schedule 7 of this bill and our commitment to deliver an extended instant asset write-off builds on what we've done to support small businesses in our term and a bit in government. I would hope that the coalition pass this bill through the House and through the Senate as soon as possible. So particularly that Schedule 7 gives small business the confidence to invest up to that $20,000 cap, a really important measure. I'll talk a little bit about some of the other schedules in my remaining time, Deputy Speaker. Schedule 1 is all about corporate transparency. These provisions will align us with international best practice to stop hidden build-ups of influence in listed companies. It will give ASIC sharper enforcement powers to ensure compliance. And essentially, Schedule 1 means that the public will have better access to ownership registers of corporations, shining a light on who really controls these companies. Again, another measure building on what we did last term, Deputy Speaker, to increase world-leading transparency measures on corporations. We've got public country-by-country reporting, disclosures of subsidiaries' tax residency, and greater accountability for firms bidding for government contracts. Schedule 1 of this bill seeks to extend that principle. Schedule 2 is really important as well on charities. Public trust in charities is too important to be undermined by secrecy. So currently, the ACNC, so the national regulator, cannot confirm whether or not a charity is under investigation, even in cases of gross and serious misconduct. So this bill changes that, allowing disclosures where needed to prevent harm and assure the public that issues are being addressed. This will give the public confidence in the charity sector. It will also give donors confidence that their contributions are well placed and support our goal of achieving doubling the philanthropic giving by 2030. Again, another cog in the wheel of broader reforms in transparency. Deputy Speaker, there's much more to this bill, but those that I've highlighted are incredibly important, and I commend them to the House.